Hey guys, this is John. Welcome to Lichess Plays. It is Sunday, April 10th. I'm starting with a minute disadvantage here. I had to adjust my webcam real quick, but we're good to go now. Let's play a Nightorf against Anur Guy. I don't think I played this player before. Stream looking good. Greetings to everyone on Twitch as well as YouTube. Oh yeah, I see you YouTube viewers there. Hello, Pipjoy. What's up, Ahmad? Let's play E6 here. Good afternoon to Talha as well. Peter Grayling. All right, bishop E7. Yeah, I think this is kind of an older line that white is playing. You got to watch out for a bishop takes E6 idea in this variation. So, for example, if I play knight BD7 here, I think this could be played. So I believe I want to avoid that. I'll show that line after the game. Hello, Cranky Monkey, as well as Two Sin, a youthful porpoise. Greetings, Blunderchamp. Yes, thank you, Blunderchamp. Yeah, I did get my hair cut this past week. So this is one way to handle it. You still develop the knight out, but you keep a keen eye on the E6 point. I just do not want white to sacrifice there. And I know this setup looks a little passive, but this is like utterly standard for the Sicilian. And with the two center pawns against one, black hopes that in the long run, that should prove some sort of advantage. So much so that I might be going knight E5 here. But first, let's play B5. And I think I'm going to send the knight into C4 if allowed. Hello, Caitlin Koala. Good to see you. You like it, Cranky Monkey? I changed the board theme up right before I went live. I was like, you know what? Let's just switch it up today. Why not? Hello, Tactical Bert. The Wackholes. Greetings. All right. Let's play knight C4. So I'll continue with the plan. Again, I'm behind on the clock, so I want to try to apply some pressure to the white position, maybe get my opponent to think, or ideally make a mistake. That would be great. It is a beautiful day here. I might even open my my door soon to get some air. But gorgeous, gorgeous day. Should I do the standard Sicilian sacrifice? Let's do it. A good rule of thumb in the Sicilian, so this exchange sack, rook for knight on C3, is very, very common. Good rule of thumb is if you can win one of the center pawns in the process while also creating double isolated pawns here, black usually has quite good compensation. And I think in this case, I'm just going to outright win the C pawn. So material-wise, I won't even be down. I will have a minor piece and two pawns for the rook. So let's tell my opponent hello. Yeah, and this is exactly what's happening. And I think black should be somewhat better here because my structure is quite solid. I have the two bishops. White has lingering weaknesses on A3 and C2. So if you play the Sicilian defense, that's definitely a sacrifice you want to get acquainted with if you're not already. Let's play D5 here. Now watch out for bishop G5. Bishop G5 is in the mix. I'm going to go here first, though. Don't really want to trade. However, I see now I can win this pawn. So maybe I can go for that. Yeah, you know, that looks pretty good. Let's do that. And I'm thinking if here... Okay. Well, hold on. Take. Yeah, let's do this. And I guess I'm going to pull this all the way back. And then I'm going to unfurl my structure, E5. I maybe could have played that in more forcing fashion. I'm not 100% sure. This looks pretty good, though. So I like this. I don't like my time situation, though. That time I spent in the opening is costing me. This position looks darn near winning, though. Let's play G5. Maybe bishop B4 next, like this. Looking good. Probably bring this up next. I think my king should be pretty safe here. Take that. Bring the king over. Oh, I'm sweating this Lichess plays. I'm winning all the pawns. Oh, good game, under guy. You almost gave me a heart attack in the first game. Very good game. Yes. GG. Let's see what the engine has to say about that exchange sack. I think it's going to be pretty good. Generally, if white's play stalls out in these same side castling situations, then black's doing very well. Hence why you see a lot of the critical lines of the Sicilian involving opposite side castling, white going on the queen side. So let's just see if the engine approves of what I did here. It points out I could have just played knight takes e4. I didn't even think about that. Although in fairness, rook takes c3 is not that far behind. So yeah, the engine believes black is pretty much winning here. -4. But, it proved a little tricky, and I think my opponent did a good job of creating counterplay. I couldn't quite calculate here if I had some win if I take this one. Like, take here, take here, take here, this. Looks winning. Just bring it over. King over. But, yeah. Honor guy created some nice counterplay. Almost saved the game. Oh, and just to show in the opening what I'm talking about. So, let's say here I were to play knight bd7. You lay out the red carpet for white to play this move, bishop takes e6. Very common sacrifice in this Sozin Sicilian, this Sozin variation that white is playing with bishop c4. That was an old Bobby Fischer favorite. And if take hits the queen, hits this pawn, white's going to pick that pawn up on g7 after the queen moves. They'll pick that up with check and then back the knight out. They're going to have 3 pawns and a very open king to work with, a very open black king. All right, let's do this. Next game coming up. Why are people talking about chess 960 all the time? Or is it just one person in the chat talking about chess 960? No, you have to challenge me to conventional chess. Sorry to the 960 proponents. Ogion 2005, you're up. Thank you, Vladimir, by the way, on YouTube. Let's play d6. Hello, Edward. Says, what's up, Francisco Bartholomew? Francisco was my Spanish name in Spanish class when I was in high school. You were an avid watcher of my stream, if you remember that detail. Francisco. Yeah, thanks again. Thank you, English for you as well. Just as a reminder, anyone can challenge here on Lichess Plays. So there's no priority given to if you're like a patron or a sub. No, none of that. Anyone can challenge. And I just have a accept random challenge button that I click. So even if you challenge with 5 minutes remaining in the stream and I'm playing one more game, like you have just as much of a chance as anyone else to get a game. Hi, Adam Clark says, hi, John, I've got to go. Nice. Hello, Adam. So I'm just waiting to take this bishop. Arguably, I should take it right away, but I've kind of found that playing a little bit of a deceptive game about the timing of this capture makes sense in these positions. Because I think Ogion is trying to decide which way they want to castle, whether it's kingside or queenside. And also if I'm going to take and give them this half-open file. So I feel like it plays to my advantage to just wait for a little bit. I don't have to capture that bishop immediately. Greetings, Alram says, hi, John, love from India. Thank you, Alram. And congrats to India for getting the next Olympiad. That was great to see. I think it's going to be in Chennai. Very well-deserved country, well-deserved win of that bid. All right, so now I'm taking. Now we have same-side castling. Black's a lot better here with the 2 bishops. This is exactly the type of position that's going to favor the 2 bishops. The knights are stepping on each other's toes. Kind of see that? They're taking away one another's squares to an extent. And I'm going to put long-range pressure on Ogion's position, therefore. Okay, knight e4. This looks natural, but anyone know what the issue is with this move? I think this is going to lose material for my opponent. Okay. And I'm going to start with an alignment move. I'm going to play queen f5. pin the knight to the white queen here. And then let's say that he goes here. I can, whoop, I shouldn't pre-move that. I can think about playing d5. Now, the only thing I'm seeing now, I do see one possible way out for Ojian. So assuming knight d2 is played, I have to consider my options. I'm going to see if Ojian can actually figure out the way out. I think that's what I'm going to do. Only one. Yep. And Ojian saw it. He was ready. Played g4 right away. Now I have a another round in the tank. Oh, here though. Okay, that's not working so well. Let me think now. Feels close to winning. I was thinking about d4 threatening checkmate, but I see white can play f3, which is a little annoying. All right, let's just play this rook over then. This is the one piece that's not doing a whole lot. I don't see an immediate tactical win, so I think this is a good time to play it. Congratulations, Silver Flame. All right. So he's propping up that knight. That's very fair. Again, I still have the option of d4. It seems correct. It looks so natural to play that move, but I think it's kind of a mistake. I'm going to go here. I'm going to play this, which makes f3 harder to play because of this. Yeah, he anticipates that. But now maybe this move. Now that rook starts to experience a few issues. Not totally over, yep. All right, let's go here. Rook f2 is forced now. But how do I break my opponent's position down? That's the question. Let's go here. We're just creeping forward. Maybe this in mind. Yeah, what does white do about that? That rook can't move. Now I think I just cash in. Even this is not simple to win, because I've got two rooks, but they're kind of blocked out of the game. I might end up giving an exchange back. We shall see. Like rook takes here is kind of tempting. I think I'm going to do that, actually, just for simplicity's sake. I'm just going to go after this pawn. Because I'm not seeing a clearer way to play it. That was good defense by Ojian. Absolutely. Let's go here. We'll give this pawn up. And play for counterplay. Check. Let's give it check. Now, do I want to defend that there? I'm going to do this. And probably... actually, let's go here. Let's shake this up a little bit. Clever little counterattack. Can I take? I think I can take this. If he takes my bishop, I push. And he's not stopping that. Okay, let's give it a check. Complex, complicated game. Okay, Ojian loses on time, but good defense. I thought you put up really sturdy resistance there from a position that looked like it was about to collapse for you after 94, but maybe I missed something. Queen f5. Yeah, queen f5 is just perhaps not as good as it seems at first. It looks like an almost dead winning move. But thanks to the g4 reply, only move in this position, otherwise, again, this alignment's deadly. It's actually not that substantial of an advantage. Minus 2, let's call it. But I think it's more of the long-term variety versus the win immediately variety. Thank you, Badger1989, for subbing to the Lichess channel on Twitch. Thank you very much, Badger. Thanks for supporting the site. So interesting. Yeah, I think good defense by you. It took a little while for you to find some of these moves, which is understandable. But you were hanging in there for sure. And as I said, even this endgame, in a classical game, I think I'd probably find some way to really turn the screws here. But in the moment, it was tough. And, playing against the knight is always difficult. And Ojian, right here, you can see is actually just equal in the position. Complicated. All right, thank you for the game. Let's move on here. Chess life is fun. Good luck. Another 1,500. Let's play d4. I've been playing some Jobava London recently, so I might do it again. John turned on arrows for analysis. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I'm pretty sure I didn't turn that setting on, but for whatever reason, it's showing the arrows. I generally don't like to have them on. I find them annoying. Okay. Jobava London it is. Okay, we'll go e3. c6, I think, is not the best approach against the London system in general, whether it's Jobava London or the conventional London, because this bishop is just given free reign down the diagonal. It's a little bit passive in my mind. What are you guys watching as far as chess these days? A lot of chess going on. There's the European Championship just concluded. There's the Reykjavik Open. There's the RCC. If you're following online events, besides Lichess Plays, of course, your favorite event of all. All right, let's go H. Let's play H4. We'll spice it up. H3 would be a more conventional London move to play, but I will play the principled Jobava London line. We watched Nakamura play the Berlin draw versus So. Yeah, funny you say that. I saw him do it against Levon as well. Same exact draw. Queen e4, queen d4, queen e6, queen d6. You can just say those moves. You could probably just say queen e4, queen e6, and people know what you're talking about if you follow top-level chess. That's the de facto draw nowadays. I think I've only played the Berlin one time in my tournament career. And you know what's funny? I have a small anecdote about that. So I played... No, actually, okay. My recollection of the event is even flawed. I have to think about this for a second. I played a tournament in London one year. It was the annual tournament in like November or December, the London Chess Classic. And I was playing in the open section one year. And I always forget. So I think I did actually play the London system. Or not the London. the Berlin, I should say. I played the Berlin as black in a game against like a 2200. But they recorded the game wrong, and it shows as like a 2 knights defense, I think. Someone can look the game up, probably. So it ended up transposing to a position out of the London, but from a different line than what we actually played in the game. Just a weird occurrence. Like whoever input the game and the score sheet afterwards, like made a mistake. Now I'm going to have to look this up because I'm pretty sure that was the case, that I played the London and... I keep saying London, I mean Berlin. Played the Berlin, and my opponent like transposed it into a 2 knights defense. This is very dangerous for black, by the way, because if bishop takes g6, impossible to prevent that move. If rook h6, I just take. Did you play the Berlin in London or the London in Berlin? I know that. I think that's what's confusing me as well. And I'm playing a London in this game. Man, I'm only 35, and I'm getting to the point where I played so much chess, like it's hard to remember what I played sometimes. Queen e6 threat. I might have to look the game up now. I'm really curious. Yeah, this is, I think, almost unstoppable. Black can play knight d6, but then I take here. How often do I play the London opening? Asked John Park. I play it more online, and I don't play it so often over the board. However, I do play the Tory attack, which is with bishop g5 instead of bishop f4, so often with knight f3 before that. Yeah, thank you for the game. Chess life is fun. So I have a fair amount of experience in those types of setups from the Tory attack, although it is distinct from the London. But yeah, I think the London's a decent weapon from time to time, because of the rise of the Jobava London, which is this setup, knight c3, bishop f4. And this is a full-fledged main line right now, in addition to the normal London, where you're usually putting a pawn on c3, or sometimes even going c4. But I think having the London in your repertoire, if you can play both the conventional London and the Jobava version, I think that gives you some nice flexibility. Okay, thank you for the game. Yeah, I think you just didn't come up with like a good means of counterplay. Again, I believe this setup's a little bit passive for black. And once I got an e4, probably you need to strive to keep the position closed. I like the suggestion of the engine, e6, building a light square pawn wall against my light square bishop. That does look prudent here. Make it difficult for me to get through. Once I played e6 in particular, this is a killer because the position's going to open up by necessity. 2 points of contact. So thanks again for the game. Jant, let's do this. Let's play. Let's do it again. Let's run it back. Arjun was asking about 3 books, which I found useful on my road to IM. Yeah, kind of a generic question, but I can highly recommend, very appropriately titled, Amateur to IM by Grandmaster Jonathan Hawkins. He was an IM when he wrote the book, and he basically talks about all of the things that were useful to him. Why did I play this way? I said I was going to play Jobava London, and I played c4. Okay, but my opponent's playing a dubious move here, so this is turning out well. So yeah, Amateur to IM is a great one. I would say for me personally, also Vladimir Kramnik's autobiography, Kramnik, My Life in Games, was really helpful. What other books? Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual to an extent. Imagination in Chess. That was a book I really liked. Very high-level book, but great for calculation. There's also a little book called The Positional Chess Handbook. You can find it for like $10 USD on the internet, on like Amazon. That one was pretty helpful. And it has some terrible printing. Like the diagrams are bad and it's descriptive notation, but it's just like bite-sized little strategic positional things you can work through that I found to be very, very useful and have stuck in my head. Okay, so yeah, here, if I give a check, just thinking if my opponent's going to run king e7 and how I would react to that. Because I could also think about playing knight b5 here. Knight b5, knight a6, queen a4 actually looks really dangerous. But I guess the problem is just here against that, huh? Because bishop b5 would be the normal move in this position. I can also even take here. Maybe the way is check, king e7, then take. Rook takes, and then knight e5 with unstoppable knight c6. That's going to fork something. But it's an interesting little move order dilemma here, because I feel I might have something even better. No, I think that's the way to go. Check. And now here, to me, it looks like king e7 is the only move for black. If knight d7, I play knight e5 or take first and then knight e5, and black's going to lose material. So you hate to have to play this move. It looks super awkward. You can't castle anymore, but I think that's forced. But sometimes it can be difficult. Yeah, I'll show the line after the game. Sometimes it can be difficult to actually find a knockout after a move like king e7. So here I just have to decide if I want to take first and then play knight e5 or do this. If I go knight e5 right away, there's knight f6, and although I can play to remove the defender, I think it's just cleaner to take this way. So let's do it. And we're jumping up with a pin. Yeah, sure thing, Arjun. Oh. Didn't tell my opponent hello. Hello to Jant. Okay. Yeah, the way this played out is very similar to a line I have in my free d4 course on Chessable. I call it the faulty Slav line, where black tries to play this bishop f5 move early on. If you're playing bishop f5 in a d4, d5 symmetric position, if you're playing that move early on, you got to double check queen b3. Queen b3 is the move that can often hurt you because of the awkward double attack there. Sometimes it'll be correct to play it, especially if white does not move their c-pawn. A lot of times it'll get you in trouble. Okay, so I can take on d7. I can also take with the knight and prevent castling. I think I probably will take with the knight. because black cannot castle through check. Black would be passing through the f8 square. That would be illegal. You say hello before the last punch, John. That is bad attitude. You might have a point, Tafaska. like if this were over the board game, I'm only accepting their handshake to start the game, like right when I'm about to checkmate them. All right, so I've got a bunch of discoveries here. This one being the most obvious, I'd say, to go after the rook. What if I throw in g4 though? G4 is like a funny like throw sand in my opponent's eyes move. Because if bishop takes, I can take here, double check, and then go after the bishop. And if there, now the e6 pawn is weak. Okay, this is becoming a little cruel now. I don't think I have forced mate yet, but let's just do this. And bishop f7 is very natural, but now knight e5 is a winner. Oh, wait, do I have even... I'm trying to get like a bishop h6 mate in somehow, but I don't think it's happening. Nah, I don't think it's happening. That's too bad. Too bad. We have to go for the conventional mate on f7. Thank you very much, G-Jant. Yeah, so I think you got to go king e7 after bishop b5 check. Let's just see if the engine approves of that move. It does. I would play king e7. I guess the engine says it doesn't make much of a difference in terms of the eval. Knight h4. Wow, interesting. What about this line? Here, take. Okay, check. Okay, so just drive the king out. And then just bring the queen back. That's a nifty little sequence, because then the queen is under attack. And also white's threatening like knight e5, knight h4. I guess the king is just going to perish, most likely. No problem, G-Jant. Yeah, it's easy to get in trouble in this bishop f5 line. So, yeah, you should play knight c6 here. Just stick to the main line. Yeah, you can see the best move after queen b3 is actually for black to bring the bishop back and say, all right, I admit my mistake. I'm just going to defend this pawn and keep this one protected. Yeah, I didn't go for the pawn on b7. I just like threw the bishop out here, but I probably should take. White loses some momentum there, but that is a pawn. I can also play e4 right away if I want, apparently. Yeah, and after this... Oh, knight b5 is good. Wait, knight b5... Yeah, this is a better version of what happened in the game. Hit this, and also double checks with the knight being threatened. Okay, interesting. Thanks for the game. Okay, Vandals took the handle. Good luck. Let's play e4 in this game. Hello, George. What's up with you? All right, Pearts. Oh, is this a Dylan song, or what song lyrics is this? I'll play this variation. Knight ge2, g3, bishop g2. Yeah, Bob Dylan is very hit and miss for me. Very hit and miss. I know he's a legend. And he's from my home state. But there's been a couple songs I like. Visions of Johanna. That's my favorite song of Bob Dylan. Subterranean Homesick Blues. Okay, I'll listen to that after the stream. Yeah, I am a little young for Dylan. I am a little bit young. Definitely a talented lyricist. I will say that. Storyteller. He painted very vivid pictures with his lyrics. Yeah, I do like prog rock. Yeah. I mean, Rush is my favorite band. Absolutely. Hello, Anna Menderrake. Yes, this is a weekly event. On I can't. It's hard to say your name. I'm gonna call you Ano. This is a weekly event, Ano. Let's start crawling forward here. G5. Lichess plays. All right, so now I can try to win a pawn if I want. I can take here. However, it slightly opens the position, so I might opt for E5. E5 is interesting as well. Yeah, let's go E5. I think the engine's probably going to say I should take, but this looks a little easier for me to play, and I like my position here too. I just didn't want that rook to potentially become active down the file. Do I play any video games, John? Not in a really long time. Counter-Strike and Age of Empires were the games that I spent a lot of time playing when I was in high school. Also Warcraft, like really back in the day. But I must confess I have not played too many video games in recent years. Computer games. All right, bishop b4 is interesting. Maybe knight a2. Feels awkward, though. Black might think about playing f6 if given the chance. I think I'm going to go here. Interesting. I mean, this is a legit move, f6. Could be tried with the intention of taking back with the knight if I were to capture. Chess is now a video game? Right. The OG. Okay. Let's go here now. So the knights are dueling. It's a little harder to play for black because c5 is almost never a good move because it leaves d5 too weak. However, it's going to be hard for me to get f5 in anytime soon. So something of a standoff here, but I do feel this pawn structure will eventually start to move. If I can get my knight out of the way and play f5, I'm in really good shape. Let's just play queen d3. I would anticipate something like knight c5 now. Knight c5, maybe I go here. Okay, so my opponent plays this. It is tempting, but I do feel like that's a mistake because it weakens the structure. It kind of forces black now to play d4. The position's opening up a little bit for my bishops. That structure is going to be hard to maintain. Perhaps c3. Yeah, let's make this swap. Okay. Could go back. Yeah, let's go back. Warcraft is chess-like. That's an interesting concept. Maybe. I don't know about that, but... All right. Which way to take? Let's take this way, because I've got my eyes set on this f6 square, especially if black... Oh, black gives me a rook. But I was going to say, especially if black moved that knight. Thank you for the game. I've got to go. I had to drop that at least once this stream, because my opponent was using the auto messages as well. Okay, Vandals took the handle. Thanks for the game. This is a bit of a tricky system for black to play against. I was talking with a student about this line. Because black sets up the normal way, but in a position like this, it's not obvious how black should gain counterplay, because white's playing real flexibly, especially with the knight not blocking the f-pawn. The knight standing on e2 is pretty handy for white. So I think this is kind of a nice setup for white. As played, yeah, it feels like knight f8 was maybe where you started to go wrong. That knight belongs on c5. c5 is a good square for it because I can't play b4 and kick it away. So knight f8 looked a little passive. It looks like after this I had kind of a steady advantage. Yeah, what does it want you to do, let's say, roundabout here? Because you're looking passive here, but the position's by no means lost. Still wants knight c5. Okay, so moral of the story, really think about using that square, especially for a knight. The autocomplete messages, yeah. All right, thanks for the game. Next opponent, Little Knight Music, you're up. Let's play knight f3. All right, let's play e4. Maybe we'll transpose it back to like an e4, e5 opening. We do. I'm feeling like an Evans Gambit or something, but let's see what Little Knight music plays. All right, let's test my opponent in the main line. Two Bits asks, do you guys close the stream when your challenge gets chosen or muted? I would be curious too. I wonder how many people listen to the stream as the game is going to. I occasionally throw curveballs just in case they do. All right, now we have a textbook situation here. Two moves for white. Knight takes f7 as the fried liver. Now, I believe the lolly attack with d4 is supposed to be stronger, but in my experience, it's less fun. And also, very few people play d4 compared to knight takes f7. Maybe if you really prep this line for black, like you could derive some advantage, like in a practical setting, if you understood how to play this resulting position, which might very well happen. But in my experience, almost nobody does. Okay, queen h4, I don't think I've ever seen here. Black passes up the capture. Now, I can take the rook, but I could also take the knight if I wanted, which I think I may do. I may go for that. I mean, take bishop g4 could actually be slightly annoying. So maybe I should take the rook. I think I'm going to. Well, no, then he takes here. I guess he's going to have some counterplay. Interesting. All right. Let's take here. I'll be curious how this plays out. Yeah, d4 is supposed to be stronger, Tafaska, in this position. The lolly attack. Possible idiot chess. That's someone's username. I'm not calling that person an idiot. Queen f3 is possible, but I would have to reckon with queen takes c4. Okay, my opponent plays rook g8, but that's too passive. Again, I can go here. I could throw in g3 if I wanted. Probably a decent option just to see where the black queen goes. Knight d6 is kind of the greedy thing to do. But yeah, there's some like weird queen trap ideas, like knight d6, bishop takes, take g8, bishop g4. Like nearly traps my queen. I think I'm going to throw in g3. e4 is covered, so no worries there. Just trying to get this queen to back off, or if here, maybe knight g5. Okay, because now queen f6, like I can throw this move in and do this if I want. I think that's pretty clean. It's just, even though there's a big material disparity, I'm going to be up a pure rook. I have very, very few pieces developed, so I do have to be careful. You can't let your guard down in these positions. Any tips for chess addiction? Increase the time control and play less. Okay, we're just getting a trade now. Yeah, and now this is totally secure. No worries. Let's just develop. Hello, John Park again. Check out my series on YouTube, Chess Fundamentals. Also, check out Climbing the Rating Ladder. Infinite time control correspondence. Oh, man. That sounds awful. All right. Thank you, Little Knight Music. Well, you managed to play a move I've never seen before in this position, Queen H4. I mean, I could actually see this catching some people. Let's check the Lichess database. Lichess gave me a clean bill of health here. It's blocked by my webcam, but I have only a 33 average centipawn loss. No inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. Never been played at master level. That makes sense. Yeah, on Lichess, it's been played quite a few times, with bishop takes d5 being the main reply. I mean, I honestly think a lot of people would miss this and just take the rook 444 people have. Or maybe they saw it, but they preferred the rook instead. Like, you can convince me that black has some, oh, actually, black's better here. It makes sense because, you always have to discount a knight like that, a knight taking a rook in the corner. The knight is often just lost. Like, its life expectancy is not great in that situation. So it stands to reason, like, black picking up this bishop, that, black is not worse. And in fact, black's a lot better. So bullet dodge there. Someone said queen f3, but yeah, queen f3 kind of suffers from the same issues. And that's just brutal. With knight d4 on deck, probably not right away because of queen f7, but knight d4, again, the knight is in trouble. Black's extremely active here. So bishop takes d5 is like the only move. I don't know. What do you guys think? This might be worth a try in like a cheeky bullet game, if you want to try to confuse your opponent. If bishop takes d5 is the only good move here. And I mean, maybe at some point you throw this bishop g4 move in. Because again, with white being unable to push the f-pawn due to the pin, like, it's not super comfortable for the white queen a lot of times. There could be some, like, tricky, tactical potential in this line. But objectively cannot be recommended. All right, thank you for the game, Little Night Music. Yes, and if you want a better way of playing this Little Night Music, look into knight a5. Someone was talking about this on the Twitch chat. Knight a5 is one of the better moves here, attacking the bishop. It is a gambit line. You're going to be giving up a pawn, but you get quite a bit of compensation. If you don't want to deal with knight g5 at all, I'd recommend just playing bishop c5 on move 3 and playing the Joko piano. So you could do this because now the g5 square is still guarded by the black queen. Okay. Who do we have up next? King Kong. By the way, when I click this, Ariane's challenge is always up top. I wonder if that's because of their username starting with an A. But I don't think this is alphabetical. But every week, somehow Ariane, maybe he challenges early, and therefore it's up on the top of the queue. That must be it. He must send me like a challenge like 24 or 48 hours ago. King Kong, are you there? Oh, yeah, there's also the Traxler. Yeah, the Traxler's fun. You can beat knight g5 with bishop c5. Okay, I think King Kong is absent. Let's go on. Waza99, you're up. Good luck. Can I play with you? Well, you can send me a challenge. I just click the button that accepts a random challenge, but you can feel free to send me one, and you have as an equal chance as everyone else to get it. Let's go here. Yeah, I think that's Ariane's strategy. I'm really curious now, but I'm pretty sure Ariane challenges me early. We have played several times. I played Ariane like 5 or 6 times. All right, possible Vienna transposition. Let's play d5, a Scandi move. Hello, Franz Simon. Okay. There's quite a few challenges, over 50. Over 50 challenges. Shout out to the Lichess mods, too, by the way. I haven't seen them in the chat, but Numeroid, No Joke Chess, if you guys are in the chat, I know someone's always watching, monitoring, assisting if needed. All right, opposite side castles. This should be a good version of it because with one pair of minor pieces traded, this is the same position as in a normal like knight f3 Scandi, but one pair of minor pieces traded should favor black, I believe. c4, interesting move. So if I go here, d4, that could get sharp because that looks, well, I don't know, actually. Let's play queen f5. Let's just play this first and see how white responds. d4 is the principled move here. It's kind of a scary move to play, though. Like, I could definitely see Waza not wanting to play this because it is in the line of fire. But the thing is, so let's say I play bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, then knight takes d4. That would run into bishop g4 with the pin here. So I can't do that. And here I got to take here because where I was double attacking my bishop. And now probably queen d3. I think this is a pretty good move. Yeah, there's other options too, but I like queen d3. Offer a trade when I block that d pawn, because long term, this is not a good structure for white. The structure is poor because the pawn on d2 is always backward and can't assist in defending the pawn on c4. So let's do this. Ellipse says, "Hide, no joke. I'm a fan of your Twitter." Oh, no joke chess. If you're there, you've got a fan in the audience. John, do you ever practice your mouse skills for bullet? I do not. I've kind of just accepted that there's probably a ceiling to my bullet potential. And no, I don't specifically practice anything. Should I be lame here and really force a queen trade with this move? Or should I play for more, like rook d4? Rook d4 is principled, but here, I guess, there's some moves like h5, g5. Let's have some fun. Let's try to play aggressive as opposed to trading queens. Hi, John. Are you a fan of golf? I do like to play golf. Yeah, I grew up playing golf. The Masters is going on this weekend. Looks like Scheffler was leading pretty comfortably. I'm trying to force my opponent to take this pawn, by the way. This is the whole point. Golf is a lot like chess. So much so that in golf, you have your shots off the tee, right? Like usually a drive. And then you've got your iron play, which is like your middle games in chess. And then you have your play on the greens, your short game, putting, chipping. And I really think in chess, like that mirrors like the opening, the middle game, and the end game. I've always felt that way. So much so that you guys know what most people spend their time on in golf, like what the most attractive phase, if you will, of a round of golf is? Of play off the tee, iron play, and short game. Drinking in the bar after a round? Well, yeah, you might have a point with that. Yes, the drive. People always want to try to like hit the ball as far as they can. And they get fancy new drivers that cost like hundreds of dollars with huge club faces, believing it's going to help them. And honestly, it's like in chess when people overly focus on the opening to the detriment of everything else. I think it's a great parallel. Drive for show, putt for dough. Yeah, that's a great saying. Now, if white doubles, they're going to run right into this. Yeah, no, you see comparatively few golfers like on the putting green versus the driving range, but it's like studying your end games. Okay, thank you, Waza. Thank you for the game. If white goes here, by the way, I was going to play queen h3 check, rook h2, and then queen takes f1. Thanks for the game, Waza. I think you were doing fine. You were just in some time pressure. Oh, actually, okay, black has a ton of compensation here, more than I thought. Oh, could I have played rook d3 earlier? Rook d3 right here. Yeah, I missed it on this move. I was setting up bishop c5, but the engine says, nah, do this. Oh, probably because, let's say white goes like queen f2. Probably now bishop c5 is killer for pretty much the same reason. Do this, and I'm crashing through down the file. And if this, I assume I'm going to checkmate soon somehow. Check. King e1. Queen e4. Okay, some series of checks that eventually win. Yeah, thank you for the game. I think knight h4 is dubious. I definitely don't like that move. Yeah, d4 being the critical one. I was mentioning that because d4, although it looks scary, it's really the only way to justify having played c4. You don't want this pawn to be backward. You really, really do not. Let me turn off the arrows. I dislike that. Turn off the arrows here. So, because if d4 is played, the pawn is actually, in a way, somewhat defended here. Knight takes d4 is possible, but just to show like the more natural sequence, if this happens, I run into bishop g4 and you win. I could take with the rook, but then there's queen a4, and because of the pressure here and here, this is very shaky for black. This bishop is a monster. So you can, in fact, think about playing d4. I guess this move is a better move order. I did think about that briefly. This is sometimes playable. Although I would argue even here you have some compensation for sure. Black's underdeveloped compared to white. Thank you for the game. Oh, thank you, Lad Bayman, by the way. Order the Ancient, you're up. Aditya says, I am around 1200. Would you suggest some of your videos to get better? Yeah, same answer as before. Check out my chess fundamentals series as well as climbing the rating ladder. Okay, what to play here? Should I play like a Schmid? No, not a Schmid Benoni, a Czech Benoni. Let's play like this. How do you gambit in golf? Good question. You probably offer odds with your playing partner. Okay, this version I think is not great for black. It's better if the knight is back here. You have a little more flexibility, like you can do this and this quickly. But I'll still try to make the best of this. I don't know, Colt 4D. I'd recommend reaching out to Chessable about that. Off the top of my head, I do not know. Yeah, Ben Feingold likes this line, yeah. I think he plays it with the knight back here on g8, but I could be wrong. Okay, here I can try to hunt down this dark square bishop. This is pretty nice. This is definitely the minor piece that you want to win in white's camp, because their light square bishop is kind of bad. It's blocked in by all these pawns. By the way, do I talk too fast sometimes, guys? I ask this question because I know a lot of viewers are not native English speakers, and I feel like when I'm trying to quickly get out points and instructional moments in the course of a 3-minute game, I'm pretty much obligated to speak quickly. So I do apologize if a lot of that is like going over people's heads, either the analysis or just the speed at which I'm talking. Okay, good. I try to be clear when I speak, even though sometimes I confuse London and Berlin. So I do strive for clarity, but... Oh, thank you, Sir Dieselot. Thank you. London and Berlin are very different. Yes, I mainly mean the chess openings, though. But they also are very different. I was relaying an anecdote a few games ago about how I was playing a Berlin defense at a tournament in London, and I kept saying I was playing a London. All right, I have a textbook attack going here. Let's take with the knight. Now, why am I throwing my pawns up the board, even though my king is castled on the same side as white? It's because of this pawn chain being conducive to my king safety and also allowing for me to attack King's Indian style. All right, so Queen h4 is obvious. Well, it's going to go knight f3, though, but I think I should still play it because knight f3, Queen h5, and then I just have to somehow remove the knight from f3. It's not going to be easy, but I think... Well, actually... Oh, all right, this is panicky. Had that occurred, I was actually probably going to stack here and get the attack going. My opponent panicked a little bit, though. F3 take... let's do it, because I think I'm going to be able to get my dark square bishop involved quickly. Is taking en passant ever obligated? No, it is not. Despite what the internet memes may have you believe. I have to tell you, it is not forced. You're not obligated to take en passant. En passant is conditional on the next move, though. As in, if en passant is possible, it has to be used immediately after the opponent plays a move allowing it, right? Like, you can't wait a move and then play it. And no, it's not forced. Not forced as long as you have a brick handy. Okay, this is nasty because I'm threatening here. White has to play this, but then I take this one with the double pin going on. Okay, this is... I feel a little bit bad now. White is in a total straitjacket here. This is a good move, though. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring the other rook in for max pain. For maximum pain. Can even take with the queen here, but white can barely move. I can put white in like a really vicious Sugswang. Should I give the check now? Okay, steps out of that. Is there a checkmate somehow? I'm looking for a cool mate. I'm not seeing one. I mean, this rook is hanging. But I'm looking for like queen h4, king here. All right, let's play queen h4. I hope Ordro doesn't mind this. I'm trying to find something artistic in this position. Because again, white is just so tied down here. Like this now. I don't know. Let's do that. You can move this rook, though. This is kind of a botched attempt at a cool idea. Okay. Thank you for the game, Ojo the Ancient. Appreciate it. Yeah, you had to play knight f3 in that position when the queen and knight were coming in. So this move is mandatory, attacking the queen and defending here. But I think it's pretty much winning for black because queen h5, and then I have this plan of lifting the rook here and threatening checkmate. When I have the dark square bishop and you don't, it's just so hard for you to control the dark squares around your king. Queen h6 or queen h3? Let's see. Oh, yeah. I should have seen that. Queen here with unstoppable queen h3. You're right. I couldn't quite put my finger on why rook g3 was the move I wanted to play. I did it mainly just to stop the g-pawn from moving, but oh, yeah, that was it. That was the full exploitation of the pin. Queen h3, unstoppable, queen takes h3. Queen takes g2. Very well done. So, yeah, I think you should probably play a few more preparatory moves. Like this early pin is kind of overrated. You definitely shouldn't go for that too soon in these positions. You could play g3, bishop g2 if you want to fianchetto. You could play like h3, knight f3, bishop d3. I would focus on developing the king side a little bit first. So thank you for the game. Who do we have up next? Bozad Papu. Okay. Let's play e4. Back to e4. Chess Ref, thank you for subbing to the Lichess channel with Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime. Thank you very much for the support. Oh, buzzkill move, d3. Declining to take the pawn. That's valid, though. That's definitely valid. All right, maybe here I can try to demonstrate that this knight is a bit awkwardly placed because black can't go there. I'm covering those squares with my queen. If knight e4, I have multiple tactical options with, I think, queen d5 being arguably the most tempting one. And if black plays queen e7, I can go queen e2 if I want. Ooh, all the way back to g8. Now here, I have a standard tactical idea. Those of you who are e4 players should definitely know this. Pretty much everyone should know this. Black has a loose bishop. Bishop f7 is the move here. King takes f7. I'm going to give a check and then go take the bishop. You might ask, John, bishop f7, it looks good, but why not queen d5? Why can't you threaten mate and threaten the bishop? Why can't you win a full piece? The answer is black can go queen e7, and that defends against both the threats, as Anton just pointed out. Yes. So you do always have to look at those permutations and decide which one is best, but often this one is the correct one. Oh, is it really? So Dieselot, I did not know that. Speaking of my opponent's username. Yeah, queen e7, bishop g5. That's creative. However, I think black could take it, and they would guard the f8 square. So Colt 40 Live points out an interesting line. Queen d5, queen e7, bishop here. Trying to deflect the queen. But yeah, I think take, and then I could take the bishop, but that's just an even trade, and also that would be hanging, I guess. And if queen f7, I think that's fine for black because f8 is guarded. I'll show that after the game. So Asa and also English for You both subbing to the Lichess channel. Love to see it. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Cheers, everyone. This is coffee, by the way, if you were wondering. Okay, let's keep the opponent's king in the center. Keep queens on board. Remember, black cannot castle, so therefore, stop the presses. John is avoiding a queen trade. I usually love my queen trades. I'm avoiding it in this case. Oh, thank you, Timo, by the way. I love that name, Timo. All right. Shall I take? I think I will. We'll damage the structure. I feel okay castling this way. If rook g8, very tempting move to line up with my king. It's going to run right into queen takes g8. Oh, I thought when that rook move, I thought, oh, I'm being prophetic and black's going to blunder it. But no, it went to f8 instead. Okay. I had my queen hovering over that square. All right, now though, take, and this is looking dangerous for black. Rook e1 coming. John, let's trade queens. Bartholomew. I know, I do love a queen trade. I love a good queenless middle game. I do think if I pursue Grandmaster, though, that's one thing I have to cut back on. I really like playing endgames where, like, not a whole lot's going on, but let's say, like, I have a good pawn structure to work with, some sort of way to grind. I've won a lot of games that way, but almost always the games that I win are against low-rated players. Like, Grandmasters very rarely lose in such a fashion where they're just, like, passive the whole time. And I do think that's one thing I'd have to consciously work to avoid against strong players, as much as I like those positions. All right, here we're going all hands on deck to attack d6. Are you currently trying to become a grandmaster? I have not played over the board since late 2019, so no. Yeah, I'm not. I'm still thinking about it, though. I still may make another go of it at some point. I'm young enough, and I have few enough responsibilities. Like, just, I'm single. I don't have a family. I could make it happen for sure, but I'd have to invest quite a bit of time, energy, money to do it. Thank you for the game, Bosad. So the variation you played, I think this is acceptable, d3. If you're looking for a good way to avoid taking the gambit pawn, I would recommend d5. That's known to, pretty much equalize here for black without trouble. You can take it, of course, too. That's the most principled move. I think even queen e7 is interesting here, as far as I recall. As played, you just have to be careful in this position because of this aforementioned tactic. And knight f6, always be skeptical of knight f6 if the e-pawn can just march to e5 on the next move. Like, if you don't have d6 played yet, I see people constantly playing an early knight f6, especially in e-pawn openings, when it can just be attacked. So be very, very careful of that. So the line that I was mentioning, if white goes queen d5, at first sight that looks better even, but queen e7 defends. Because Colt 4D in the chat pointed out bishop g5, tempting move, trying to deflect the queen. But yeah, taking here is going to backfire. Oh, not because of queen g2, but I guess because of this one. Oh, that's funny. And you go pick up the other rook. That's apparently very, very good for black. And queen f7, this would be so frustrating for white if you missed this, because you'd be like, oh, I have queen f8. Like, I drew it up perfectly when I played bishop g5. And then your opponent replies with this, and you quit chess. You just give the game up out of frustration. That would be a funny scenario, right? Because imagine if you had this position over the board. Like, your opponent is obliged to play bishop takes f8. They literally can't play any other move. And if they don't, they would probably agree with you. They'd be like, oh, yeah, checkmate, good game. So this is very, very much a do or die situation. Online, it's going to cue you because white would be expecting the game to end. They'd be like, why is the pop-up not occurring? You'd have that sudden shiver down your spine. I know you guys have experienced this. Like, you play a move that you think is checkmate, and you're like, why did it not, like, ping? Why did the pop-up not appear that the game is over? And your opponent's clock just continues running. But over the board, it would be a little bit different. There's no one there prompting you to that fact. All right, thanks for the game, Basad. Anton, hey, Anton. Good luck to you. Let's play d4 against Anton. I might play Jabava London. Feel free to mute it, Anton. Or not. I might send you some curveballs if you don't. The chat is rooting for you. We're going Jobava style. Okay, yeah, a couple of people are pointing out my opponent's username in Hindi may not have been the wisest thing for me to say. I don't know what it means, so I guess I'll have to check it after the game. I hope it's not something really, really awful. When playing OTB, you're obligated to go beep boop when delivering mate. That's true. I can confirm that. You actually have to deliver sound effects to your moves. I forgot that FIDE instituted that requirement a while back. Grandmasters are exempt, but I'm just an international master, so I'm just as obligated as the rest of you guys to say beep boop and announce check and stuff like that. They make an exception for grandmasters though. They're too cool apparently. Okay, this is looking really good for me. I'm going to take on f7. I probably should have taken on f7 first, but now Anton's really going to pay the penalty here with my knight coming to g5, queen coming in. Ooh, boy. This is going to get nasty for Anton. I think actually maybe it's defensible in the short term, though. Let me think, though. How do I want to execute this attack? Rook g1 is definitely possible. Let's throw in the capture here first, though. Also, this pawn's straight up hanging, but I don't even know if I want to take it. Yeah, I'm not going to take it, at least right now. Let's just castle. We'll just play this kind of normal. Knight takes e6 was probably the best move, but this is more fun. What's an opening named after someone? Oh, there's a lot. Probably like half the openings out there are named after someone. I'll just give you one example. The Gingy Indian. Or what I'm playing here, the Jobava London. Take. And this is collapsing for black. Mate threat on g7. Black's going to have to give up their queen. Other half is named after cities. Yeah, there's a lot of city or country chess names. Also the occasional animal name. Or even corporate branded ones like the Nescafe Frappe attack. I'm serious. That's a real opening. Yeah, Jobava London named after both a name and a place, right? Sometimes called the Jobava Rapport system. Take here. And if king takes rook check, I'm just making the king walk the plank up the board. John, what's your current serious e4 response? Sicilian? I play a lot of Sicilian, yeah. Play a lot of Sicilian, a lot of Scandi. Those are the main ones. Checkmate. Ruy Lopez, probably the most popular named after a player. Yes, the Spanish priest. Thank you for the game, Anton. Yeah, so this early rush of the F, G, and H pawns pretty standard in a Jobava London. But that's what can happen in this line. Sorry, my voice is going a little bit. With the early development of the light square bishop, bishop g4 is just not a good move because white really wants to play f3 anyways against that line. Like had you played here, bishop f5, I was going to play f3 anyways. So you effectively gave me a move with that. And once this g6 move hits, I think it's really tough for black to play. Yeah, probably you should play f6 here. F6 or f5, one of those moves. But I know practically speaking, this is really, really difficult. What is good here? Just knight g5 right away? I'm +7 at this point already. Equal material. Probably the engine's not going to like how I handled it, though. Yeah, it just wants to take this pawn. I played it a little too pedestrian for the engine's liking. +7 on equal material is always nice. Yes, I can confirm. I agree with that. Yeah, this is crushing. Okay, thanks for the game, Anton. You disappointed the chat, but that's all right. You can always challenge again. Brand 29. Opening name based on a fruit. Based on a fruit. Is that a test or is there one? I can't think of one off the top of my head. Maybe Hikaru has like a pineapple opening that he's trying to patent, but I honestly can't think of one. If there is one, the chat will know. Hello, Celine Pictures. Thank you for tuning in from France. Can I request a Carol Khan? Yes, you can. Yeah, I can play a Carol Khan. No, I don't think cabbage counts. Good try though. Good try. Yeah, fried liver is within the food theme. That's correct. There's a couple food openings out there, but I can't think of a fruit one. Okay. Maybe I played this a little too cavalier. I thought I was going to win this pawn, but that may not be the case, in fact. Yeah, because now White's ready to kick me here. I guess I'm going to go... I don't know. I could just play like f6. Probably f6 is the way to go. I don't hugely like this, though. e5 didn't turn out the way I would like. It's equal material, though. Ever used the Stafford Gambit? Yep, I have played it before. Ooh, I don't know about e6 in reply. That seems suspicious. Because that pawn is going to get surrounded. I might have to wreck my structure, but h3 here, take. I think that should be a lot better for me. Okay, let's take with the knight, attack the bishop. Give me that. Yeah, I don't like how my opponent handled that. I think that was definitely a mistake. They should have taken on f6. Play a Benko. If I remember, I'll try to work in a Benko too. Yeah, there's e4, I suppose. Okay, I will go. Well, here maybe this move, and if bishop f7, there's knight takes e6. I still feel like I should play this though. Maybe if knight d4, I can just play king up or something. Could also play bishop d7. Looks plenty good. All right, there. Let's play rook d8. Look for a swap. When is a game called an immortal? There's really no firm criteria for that. I think it's mainly just if there's a consensus as to whether a game is going to be beautiful until the end of time. Nope, I've never been to India. Yeah, there is a cornstalk defense. That's right. Brand 27 versus Finns, the immortal game. Unless I do something really impressive, this will not qualify as an immortal, unfortunately. Which immortal game do you guys like? What's your favorite? It's getting harder and harder to play an immortal game, I think, for the top players. There's a couple semi-recent ones that come to mind. Like, what is it? Aronian Anand. Great game by Anand. In the Semi-Slav. I'm winning material here again. Yeah, Wei Yi's game a few years ago was incredible. That's right. Hui Fan versus Borja Ider. I'm not familiar with that one, Bakuz. I'll have to check that out. Hello to Bakuz, by the way, one of the mods. Let's go after this pawn. And if the knight goes here or here, I can attack it with my dark square bishop. I expect a fork. We'll go here, try to stay out of range of the knight. And I think if knight d6, I'm going to pull this back even further. And now I've got the go-ahead for these pawns to advance. Dubov Karyakin. I remember that game. Yeah, that was a crazy one. Okay, I can still advance. If the bishop gets captured, promote. And let's promote. More pawns coming. We'll go here and then here. Ooh, I might be able to set up an artistic mating net, something like this and this, or take away all the squares, but game over. Brand, thank you for the game. I think you were actually doing fine, and you reacted well to my e5 move, but for whatever reason, you decided to play e6 versus take. I think that was a clear turning point in this game. Yeah, look at that. If you take, you're a lot better here. It's equal material, but your position is a lot healthier. I was probably going to take this way because this pawn is doubled, and my coordination does not look nearly as good as yours. You've already got your two nice bishops out. You're close to castling. The knight is going to have to join the action soon. But I think you were doing really, really well up till that point. This variation, like combining g3 and knight c3 in the Slav, I don't think is so great. Like, black should be better here, I think, because it's going to be a little hard to regain this pawn, but not the way I played it. Thanks for the game. Okay, who's up next? Mojo Jojo, greetings to you. Let's play in English. What's your immortal game? Yeah, I don't really have one. Not one that comes to mind easily. Some players do. You can ask them, like, what's the best game you ever played? And they'll just be able to tell you off the top of their head. But for me, I don't really have one. I mean, there's one game that stands out that I'm still pretty proud of. It's when I beat Grandmaster Alex Shabalov when I was 16 years old at the Foxwoods Open in Massachusetts. And I still have very fond memories of that because Shabalov was the U.S. champion at the time. And we played in the first round of that tournament. I played a really nice game on the white side of a Sicilian in a Kalashnikov variation. But I definitely wouldn't call it like my immortal game as much as I like it. Okay. Let's go A3. I guess I'm going to play this in like hedgehog style. I think black maybe could have tried to sneak the knight into D3 a little earlier, but this is looking okay. Double fianchetto. Yeah, exactly. This looks like a pretty good version, though. I think if black was going to exploit this, they had to do it a little bit earlier, because now I'm going to do kind of what I did in that very first Sicilian game I played in this session. Go here. The rook on C8, while it defends this, is really passively placed. Ooh, is that playable? I feel like my opponent's going to lose material. Take E4. Can take with a knight, though. Then I take C6, maybe? This is very close to losing material. Knight C5, also a candidate move here. That might be good. I see a lot of stuff hanging for black at that point. Taking works great if black takes with the pawn, but if they take with the knight, I think that's going to cap my gain. So I think I'm going to throw this move at Mojo Jojo. We're going to venture into this territory, and I'm going to say, my friend, you have 3 pieces hanging here. What are you going to do about it? Oh, yeah, Foxwoods is back. I think it's happening in another week or so. I think it's next weekend. Yeah, this is probably the best move. Now, I was thinking, take the rook. He takes here. I go here. And I think at minimum, I'm going to be up in exchange. I could also take the knight first. Arguably even cleaner. Yeah, actually, I'm going to take the knight. And if he takes here, I'm going to go here. I'm going to keep my options open with this knight. I think this way I stand a chance of going up an entire minor piece versus just... although maybe knight e7 was possible there by my opponent. But yeah, black played a natural move. And now here, I can take f6, take here, and I'm going to be up a piece in the end. Also, I could take here first. Oh, this is probably even the cleaner way to do it. Take here first. This is more forcing. then take here, check, then take here. And I didn't allow any rook takes d2 in the process of doing this. Yeah, that was a good feeling, Lawyer Bodo. But when I think of an Immortal game, I think of something really unique and beautiful that happened in the game itself. And it was a good game, don't get me wrong. You guys can find it online. I think it's even annotated by me online. But there wasn't like an immortal characteristic to it. Okay, let's just go f3 here. If he takes, I can take. And now I'm going to take here. We're just looking to get this rook active. I'm up a minor piece. Can also play g4. Pretty decent move. Let's do it. Break up the position. Was that pawn not in danger of promoting if he took the rook? Which pawn are you talking about? One of Black's pawns? Is that So Kasparov Blitz game still considered an immortal? That's a nice game. I reviewed that on my channel. That was several years back. I do remember that game. Probably not quite immortal, but maybe close. Let's go here. I got to watch my time a little bit, but yeah, this position's completely winning. This is a nice move because it anchors the h2 pawn, and everything's safe for me. Cut off the enemy king. No stalemate. No stalemate. Bishop mate. All right. Thank you, Jojo, for the game. Interesting little tactical sequence there. Definitely felt like you were playing with fire with bishop f5, because although that pins my knight, I have the option of taking f6 with check. With this bishop lurking, like that's one of your issues here, that knight becomes kind of weak on the d5 square. So I'm pretty sure that move is just losing. And knight c5 is best, yeah. But honestly, this position already looks a little uncomfortable for you. Probably you should go back. But I have knight c5 locked and loaded. I thought probably you should play for knight d4, knight b4 rather, earlier. Like, you could think about it here. Engine wants you to take. I guess that also makes sense. Maybe try to use the d3 square at some point. Once we settle into this structure, your c-pawn and this whole situation with the knight, the rook backing it up but not really useful, pretty favorable to white, I would say. Yeah, and looks like I played this correctly. There's too many things hanging for black under attack here. Yeah, probably you should move the light square bishop now and just agree to lose the exchange. Yeah, loses a piece. Okay, thanks for the game. Who's up next? Arvpaz. Good luck to you. Thank you, Steven. Says nice calculation on that. Thank you very much. Okay, let's play a Trumpowski. Someone said, John, are you proud of Levy getting GM? It is amazing how many people believe that was true. Although I do kind of understand, because when I've done April Fool's videos that are jokes in the past, a shocking amount of people have believed it. Even my own mother, actually. I did an April Fool's prank one time on my channel, which I know I haven't been super active lately, but I'm still posting from time to time. Let's play a gambit here. And I announced that I was going to shift my content from chess to men's fashion. I was like, I noticed many of you in comments to my videos, like, comment on my clothes or my hairstyle and stuff. And, I've really appreciated that. And I've started to develop more of an interest in men's fashion and grooming. So, I'm going to keep the chess, but I'm going to start working in more videos related to that because you guys seem to like that. And my mom, was watching this. This is what my dad relayed to me later. She was watching this video after I posted it. And my dad said that my mom like audibly gasped and was like, Barney, which is my dad's name, come see this. And my dad knew right away that it was an April Fool's joke. But I fooled my own mom with it. So I can see why many people do fall for it. This is like Alekhine Chatard. Yeah, the Alekhine Chatard Gambit. That's right. It's very similar. I think I should stop knight b4 here. So let's play a3. I have dabbled in poker. Yeah, I played a lot of poker back in the day. I don't play it so much anymore. How am I going to get compensation here before black castles? Because I think he's just going to whisk his king away here. I've got some nice squares to work with, but I'm missing some little ingredient. Okay, I think I can actually make this spicy before black castles. You guys ready for this? Okay. Yeah, so on h6, I was going to take here. On this one, I'm still honestly thinking about some sort of sacrifice. Like, is this move playable? Probably not. Take knight f8. Looks very cool, though. I'm just going to go here. It's a good question, a youthful porpoise. I don't know how popular April Fool's is in, let's say, the non-like English-speaking world. Yeah, f5 is not a good move. That leaves too many squares weak here. I think black should have played rook f8, maybe castled, but here I've got some fun options. I can take here, for instance. I could just trade and then take g6 or take e6. Those are looking good too, but I think queen takes c7 is pretty vicious here and probably just good. Yeah, let's play that. Right into the heart of the black position, attacking the bishop. In Russia, April 1st is also a joke holiday. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know in other countries. How's the new Chefable site coming along? Yeah. Chessable's keeping that, right? They're keeping it as a branch of Chessable. All right, so I can take here. I think rook b8 is my opponent's point. Maybe I can throw in like knight takes e6 before I take. That's an option. I kind of like that. I'm going to do it. Just so I destroy that pawn, and I'd rather get something for it instead of just losing the knight on g5. Now take. And if black castles this way to defend the rook, then I can take this one. Yeah. If you told me that black would castle kingside, like back here, I just would not have believed you. Like that black would actually go this direction. But they did. Okay, now I'm up a piece. Let's go queen b5. Let's go here. Encourage him to continue taking, because then I'm going to do this. Did I see knight takes b4 after queen f4? I'll have to go back and check. But probably not, no. This is a good move. Let's go here. And if the knight moves, I probably just take on f4. On g6, rather. Unless he goes knight f4 to defend. Then I probably play rook takes f4. Black can't go rook d6 here because I would play queen takes a8. All right, we're just going to trade now, take the pawn. Carnage. All right. Thank you, Arpas, for the game. Interesting one in terms of the opening. Ended up looking like Alekhine's. People were pointing out the similarities to, or not an Alekhine's, a French. Boy, I'm really confusing my openings today. I'm just like throwing out names. I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of like a Gingy Indian. I think because we've been talking about openings so much and just the various names for them. But yeah, it looks like a French defense line. Ooh, knight takes d4. Is this the move you're referring to? Someone said knight takes b4 in the chat, but this would be knight takes d4. Oh yeah, this was 2 bits. No, I didn't see this. That's a nice little move. Deflecting my queen away. Still looks kind of complicated after this, but I guess black's going to consolidate pretty easily. Yeah, that looks strong, huh? F5, though, definitely not a good move. When you're getting attacked on a certain wing, you really want to make an effort to limit the pawn moves that you're playing on that wing. That's a universal rule. So this structure is pretty brittle. I mean, even h5, like, it is the best move, but it makes you nervous. h6, I was ready to pop off with this move. I was really looking forward to this. So if queen takes, there's bishop takes. And king takes just looks like fun. Like queen takes, lift the rook. Oh, I guess bishop takes even stronger here. Yeah, big attack for white. But yeah, it looks like f5 was the decisive mistake. Knight takes d4, nice little spot there. Could even castle. That's interesting too, because if I take with the queen, I would lose the knight. And if I take with the knight, I'm going to get pinned, like rook f8. So even that was a good option here. Was Andrew Tang your student? Yes, I did work with him for a while, for about 2-3 years. He's had other coaches too. He was also working with another coach or two at the time I was. But yes, we did some productive work together. Andrew still plays a lot of openings I taught him. That's one thing I'm really happy about. Like, a large portion of his repertoire is openings that I introduced him to. Bossy Boss LOL. Good luck. How many openings do I know well? You know what I'm going to say to that. How do you define well? I'm going to play this Gurganidze variation. I often play this way with g6, bishop g7 if they don't let me play a Xinjian Indian. Did the student surpass his teacher? Absolutely, yeah. He's just a stronger player than me, that's for sure. But I already knew he was going to be really strong because he made master when he was like 12. I made master when I was 15. Andrew was absolutely a prodigy. Like, you just knew if he continued with chess, he was going to be very, very good. He made GM when he was 18, I think. Okay, we're undermining the center. Could have also played knight f5. That might have been a little bit better, actually. Ooh, I get another chance to play it. So if I take here, he takes here. So let's go for it. And I get the bishop pair. All right. Interesting position, but I think I'm just winning a pawn here. Kind of tempted to just start playing on the queen side, but for a pawn, we're willing to go ahead and just capture. How many hours do I devote to chess every day? Do I take days off? Are your students taught in person? Do you recommend a career in chess? Is it lucrative? That's a lot of questions you just put into a few sentences there. Old suit man. I mean, I'm always looking at chess pretty much. Like, I'm not studying. I wouldn't say I'm studying chess actively at this point in my chess career. I think I misplayed this, by the way, because white can take here. If I take, there was queen d4, so white should have just captured. I wouldn't have been able to take back. So I'm always like around chess, even if I'm not like playing tournaments actively. You know, I'm teaching, I'm following games at the high levels, I'm following tournaments that my peers play, trying to stay involved in like what's going on in the chess world. I don't do a lot of in-person teaching anymore. I used to, even like before the pandemic, which was a shame because I had to cut some of that out, obviously because of the pandemic. I really like teaching in person, but no, most of my stuff is online these days. Would I recommend a career in chess, and is it lucrative? I would say don't get into chess for the money. It can become lucrative if you're very successful, but we're talking like a sliver of a percentage. And it helps if you're a title player for sure. You know, I think if you're considering a career in chess, unless there's some sort of like very clear avenue to you where not having the master title at a minimum, like NM or FM, is needed, then I would strongly advise against it unless you have like a certain plan in mind. I just think the title is almost like a prerequisite if you're really going to try to make like a decent living in chess. And I'm talking like teaching, I'm not talking playing chess because that's like a almost a dead profession from a money making standpoint. Uh if you are a master and are thinking about it again, like don't do it because the money, like the money can come over time, but it's going to be a long process. It's probably going to take 5 to 10 years for the money to start showing up. Thank you, Hesse. Thank you. Says, wish we see your GM title one day. Yeah, I'm going to try to make a go of it at some point. Ooh, yeah, 95 would have been good there. Take 95. I guess I can play Rook F2 against that, but I definitely didn't see 95 as a possibility. Hello, Lolly, by the way. Let's go here. I'm trying to take the second rank with my Rook. Up a pawn here. Bishop F5 is coming. And my opponent has no time. Thanks to the game, Bossy Boss. Yeah, this treatment of the position, probably not the best. I actually think when black plays this early d5, it's most uncomfortable for black if white just keeps the tension and like develops with knight f3. Because when e5 is played, black kind of knows that they get to use the f5 square. You can definitely play like this, but I think the way you played it, where you gave up the bishop pair, not so great. Although I should have probably taken here, maybe even taken here first, because again, the way I played it, you can capture on e5 at the moment. Oh, look at this. The engine's really unhappy with this. We have the back and forth, like double question mark, red moves. You never like to see that. Multiple red moves. Yeah, so had you taken e5, I can't take back because of this alignment issue. Queen d4, pin the knight to the king. And even if I defend, you've got f4, just knight f3 as well. This is a terrible position for me. I think you missed knight takes e4 for black earlier when the queens were staring at each other. Let's see. Very possible. Although a2 was hanging. Yeah, you could play knight takes e4 right here. Yep, good point. Because if I take, white recaptures with the knight. So that was another moment for white to regain a little bit of material. Yeah, and this is good for black. Although even here, I played a little sloppy. Knight e5, as pointed out. I thought I was removing the defender. Ooh, and rook f2 is not even good. Rook f2, knight g3. I guess my rook probably has issues there defending the knight. Best move, bishop f5, and then this. I would take white here in a practical game with the two knights against the rook. I would definitely take white here. Okay, so bit of a sloppy game on both our parts. Bossy Boss, thank you for the game. We have about 20 minutes left in the stream. 2 bits, hey, you're up. 2 bits has been active in the chat. Good luck to you. You are also a Lichess patron. Thank you to all the Lichess patrons out there, people who contribute to keep Lichess running. And you get the little wings next to your name. Yeah, good luck. Is John's hair slowly going a bit Steven Seagal? I don't exactly know what that means, but I assume that's not good for my hairline. I mean, I know who Steven Seagal is, but I don't know exactly what you mean by that. But yeah, my hairline's receding, that's for sure. Not at a super rapid pace, but could be worse. Could always be worse. Gonna try to flag a little slower. Oh, yeah. Did you flag in our last game 2 bits? Oh, yeah. I remember that now. This one was still in the late opening, early middle game. Oh, is that right, Handles? Yeah, good luck with that. Probably a good decision. You know, that's you're starting to go bald. I think shaving it off is a decent decision. How do I feel about the Timberwolves this season? I haven't watched them a whole lot, but it's been cool to see them climb up the standings. I hope they make a run in the playoffs. I think they're playing the Clippers. Okay. Let's play bishop e7. I'm keeping the tension here for quite a while, but I don't see a full-on reason to release the tension yet. So we'll just see how 2-bits develops here. Cat is looking great. Yeah, he's a dominant player, that's for sure. Cat and Ant. Very fun to watch. Hello, Henry. Thank you for tuning in. Good luck on your finals. Man, it is almost 60 degrees outside. I'm going to have to go take advantage of that after Lichess plays today. All right, now I can think about taking, though. However, I don't think it's going to win me material necessarily. Should I do it, though? I kind of want to see if 2-bits... Well, this is not a bad decision, and I want to see if 2-bits can figure out how to avoid losing material out of this. Now I can take here or here. If I take here, 2-bits would have to find bishop takes c6, and I'm saying that because he admitted that he's muting. I think he's going to find that, so let's take this way. This is probably the stronger capture. Allowing bishop takes b7, but I'm going to put my rook on b8. Now, 2-bits could destroy my castling privilege by doing this, but I was going to play king f8, and I actually kind of liked my position there. Okay, 2-bits didn't find it, though. Now I should be up a pretty solid pawn. I am going to play queen d7 or knight takes f3. I'm not sure. Let's play queen d7. Keep this defended. How many games will I play after this one? I'm not sure, Aryan. I see your challenge up there. I was commenting on how... Oh, it's gone now. Did you unchallenge me, Aryan? I was commenting how you're always like up there at the top when I click on the challenges. Because I think you... Correct me if I'm wrong, but you challenge super early, like even before I go live. But yeah, we'll probably get in another 2-3 games. 2 for sure, maybe 3. You challenged 2 hours soon. Okay, now we know your secret. You revealed it. How do you get better at calculation, and how important is it in chess? Well, it's very important. How do you get better? Well, you solve exercises regularly, not just like tactical puzzles, too. I think you should seek out other resources like books. I think that would be great to supplement it. Your calculation will get better over time, along with your visualization. But use lots of different resources. Don't just do like puzzles on Lichess or chess.com, whatever. Look at books, maybe videos as well. Like I have a series actually called, I think it's called Chess Thought. I think that's what it's called. It's been a while since I've looked at that series. Yeah, thanks for the game, 2-bits. You did better on the clock this game. You had to find the capture on b7 to stay in the mix. Like knight takes d4. Got to go for this in some form, I think. I was thinking maybe you take on d4 first. And I was going to do this and then rook b8. You can throw in the check, though, and then defend this pawn. So at least you're not like losing this pawn. This does look pretty good, though, for black. And it's interesting because you might say, well, how is this better for black? Because it's equal material. And John, you can't move, you can't castle your king anymore. But I think the crux of why this is better for black is that these pawns are going to be more annoying than white's majority is over here. White is a 3 versus 1 on the queen side, but these pawns are kind of stuck because I control all these dark squares really well. So kind of an interesting position to assess. Probably had to go for something like that, though. Thanks for the game, 2-bits. Always appreciate you tuning into the stream. We're up against Club Bene. I'm going to play another Jobava London. Chess Cognition. Yes, thank you, Gray Sensei. Again, I'm like forgetting the titles of things. Chess Cognition. Thank you. That's a series I made like 5 years ago. There's not a whole lot of videos in the series, but could be useful. There's some interesting calculation tests in that series. Oh, yeah, thanks. Symmetrical Englishman. My standard series. That's probably my most instructive series, especially for like slightly higher rated players. I think there's a lot of good stuff in that series. Going for Jobava London again. Yeah. Very active here. We're getting a grip on the e5 square. A lot of my opponents are saying hello to me today. Hello to you, Clubini. Let's take this. This, I think, is actually a pretty good setup for black. I don't think white has a whole lot to work with here. Black's going to try to win back the pawn, most likely, or maybe not. Okay, since Clubini didn't win back the pawn, I'm going to look to keep it. I would have played queen c7 there if I were black. Maybe rook b1 now. I can try to hold on to this. I mean, why not? It's a useful pawn. Ooh, I should have thought about the Greek gift, but it didn't work because black has knight f6 at the end. But I should have thought about that and mentioned that at least. All right, so there, I can play knight e2. I can also go queen d2. Might be even better. I'm liking the look of queen d2. Defends this. Keeps some options with the knight. Like knight takes d5, I was about to say. Boom. Hit the queen. Queen e6 is met by knight c7 with the fork. Where is that queen going to go? All the way back to d8? You hate to play it, but probably the best move. Yeah, I might do another Climbing the Rating Ladder series and do it on Lichess. I haven't done any of those videos on Lichess. I've been doing them on chess.com. But I think it would be interesting to do it on Lichess. Okay, so this, again, can be met by that. I'm also looking at that move or knight g5 even, if I want to get really flashy here. Knight g5 is a pretty vicious move, actually. Because queen takes d5, bishop h7. I don't think it's the best move, though. There's also even, this is a funny move, bishop f5. There's always h6 available, though. I'm just going to go for the material. Oh, but you know what he's probably going to play? Yeah, he's going to play this one. Clever defense. All right, let's just castle now. Defend my rook. I still feel like this queen is like borderline trapped. I think it is trapped now. Here, where are you going to go? Queen b2, rook here. All these squares are covered, as are every square up the file. Oh yeah, I can fix that quiz. Actually, that series, it's not crucial what order that you watch them in. They're all separate videos, separate themes. They're all interesting. Talking about chess.com on the Lichess channel. Yeah, but the thing is, Lichess doesn't mind. Lichess is very good about that. They don't censor. They fully acknowledge that there's another site. And, chess.com, to be fair, does as well. Except that chess.com is a lot more careful about mentioning Lichess. But of course, like they understand that Lichess is also a very, very popular chess site. Nice, Clubene. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, thanks to the game. You were probably just a little too casual about regaining the pawn. Like, I do think here you should already start thinking about regaining it. Seems like the engine agrees. Queen c7. Because once you do this, it does give me this option of playing a3. And now I don't think it's a guarantee you're going to win the pawn back. Queen here, b4, then a5, rook b1. This is what it wants you to do. Take, d4. I mean, this looks kind of like the game. But I suppose you're going to try to get through with e5 at some point. So again, I think if you play c5 rather, and allow the capture, when you can't immediately recapture, you just want to have a plan for taking it back. Thanks for the game. All right, let's try to get 2 more games in. 1 more regular game, and then 1 blindfold game. Salibovich, good luck. You might get banned on Lichess if you do a climbing the rating ladder, probably because you create a new account. No, that's the thing though. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't create a new account. I would just even with my climbing the rating ladder on chess.com, I just played it from my IM account, which is my only account on chess.com, and I didn't sandbag or anything like that. I'm not really in favor of that approach. Has chess.com offered you sponsorships? So I was a chess.com sponsored streamer a few years ago. I did do that for a while, and I had a good experience. I like Danny Wrench a lot. He's a guy you might know, vice president of chess.com. He's a great dude. I had a good experience with them. But you guys know I co-founded Chessable. Many of you probably know that, which got bought by Play Magnus. And Play Magnus also owns Chess24, which is another separate site and Play Zone altogether. And I thought for me, it was just best if I was like independent. And, Lichess is like a nice neutral platform that I like to play on. And I don't know, I'd keep my options open in terms of sponsorships and whatnot. I don't want to fully slam the door on anything. But I also just like being able to stream on whatever site I want. Like it's pretty liberating. Do I disapprove of other chess streamers opening accounts to do speed runs? I think if they're within the TOS, no, absolutely not. I think that's their choice. I don't like disapprove of it. I wouldn't do it myself. But I'm not going to say that they shouldn't do it as long as they're adhering to TOS. But I think it's against the TOS to do that is the thing. Strange Quark, thanks for the 4 months on the Lichess channel. Appreciate you supporting the site. Okay, so I can try to win that pawn, but let's prep this one more move. I want to keep e2 well defended. Maybe g4 was best there, but I'm trying to keep this defended and still outright win the d5 pawn. Ooh, the YouTube channel is getting a lot of spam right now, the YouTube stream. Saros says, I dare you to win by time. Thank you, Matt Prout, by the way. You like those standard videos, huh? Will Horsey P set make a return? Maybe, yeah. That was a popular thing for a while. I think I'm going to take here. I'm going to give up the beautiful Fianchetto bishop, but I'm playing to win the d4 pawn. Yeah, and Yeltke, greetings Yeltke, by the way, moderator of the chat, says speedruns are not allowed on Lichess. Yeah, and basically what a speedrun is for people who don't know. I think it's kind of a term that's been around from like video gaming for quite a long time, but it's when like a good player, very proficient player in something tries to like create a new account and like start from zero and like work their way up in rating or level or whatnot. And it can be frowned upon because obviously to do that, like inherently you're sandbagging, what we'd call it. You're like misrepresenting your skill. So I think it's better to like play from your usual account. I don't think it's like technically like a huge deal. Like there are way worse offenses, right? And if it's being done for educational reasons, I totally get why people would do it. But I do think it's better to play from your regular account. And again, if it's against TOS, like you just don't do it, period. F3. I'm trying to like nurse my advantage here. I'm trying to figure out how I want to best do it. Probably F3. Weird pawn structure, but then I can go E4 next. I gradually want to advance this majority, hopefully without making any concessions. That's right. Yeah, the people who do it on chess.com do get approval from chess.com. Like Daniel, he has this Sensei Danya educational series that he does, which is really popular. And he calls it a speed run, but I don't exactly know why he calls it that, because he's not like speed running, trying to get high rated as quickly as possible. It's just an educational series where he plays lower rated players and really does explain his thought process in great depth. But he does get permission from chess.com, and people he plays and almost always beats do get their rating refunded. Okay, so I'm up a pawn here. I think I'm close to winning even more material, but let me think how I want to do this. Let's go knight c5. And then maybe here. I don't know. Let's go here. Black could have played b6 there. It doesn't really matter much with the time situation, but b6 might have been a little more tenacious. Thank you, Salibovic, for the game. Much appreciated. Yeah, I think you just had trouble with that pawn, the way that this played out. So I would watch that a little bit. I think this whole maneuver, bishop g4, bishop h5, when this is loose, like doesn't make as much sense. Thank you for the game. All right, you guys know the drill. This is our final game. We're coming up on the end here, and it's going to be a blindfold game. It's going to be blindfold. And you guys can follow along by following me if you want to see the pieces. You can follow me on Fins. That's my username, F-I-N-S. Otherwise, you can see it from my perspective, which is a blank board, just seeing the notation and the moves. Okay, this is going to be tough. I'm playing a lot of 1900s today. Teammate 1987. This is the final game of the session. Thanks, everyone, for joining and challenging. We're going to be back next week. I'm really going to have my work cut out for me in this game. Let's play a Slav. This is mainline Slav. Okay. Let's play knight bd7. White's going for a g3 variation, e6. I got to try and stay like reasonably ahead on the clock here. Let's play like this. Go b4. And maybe bishop a6, I think, is correct here. This pawn is defended, so that's good. My opponent's fast, too, I can tell. He's playing quickly. He's playing confidently. Rook e1, let's do this. He's going to go e4. All right, just castle. But I'm up a pawn. I have a nice little structure here and here. Ooh, did he just hang this pawn? I think he hung this one. Let's take. He blocked his rook from defending. He's still going to get some compensation. He's jumping the knight in. Let's take here now. Takes that one. Okay. Knight d3 feels principled now. I think I should play that. Yeah, let's dive in. Attacking the rook. And this knight is anchored by the pawn, so let's pre-move this capture. Oh, he takes there, really? Wait a minute. That should lose material. Can take d1. Or e1, rather, but I think it's stronger to go here. Let's do that. Attack the bishop. Now I'm going to win an exchange at minimum. This is the type of position that's tricky, though. Oh, he's threatening checkmate. But no. That's not going to fly. G6. I see your checkmate threat. Nah, you're not going to pull that on me just because I'm playing blindfold. Good try, though. Could have also played f5 there. And now I'm going to back my knight out through d3. I'm up a rook. I should be up a rook. Be careful, though, John. The position's still very messy. It's easy to like lose your bearings in a position like this. This is the problem. Seeing an invisible checkmate? Sheesh. Yeah. Very easy to lose your bearings. Queen g4. Okay, so back the knight out. I can go to c2 as well, right? C2 is a fork. Should probably do that. I hope this doesn't hang anything. Oh! Famous last words. I hope this doesn't hang anything. Oh, wait. But do I have b3? Okay, I think this move bailed me out. Narrator, it hung something. Yeah. I think this move bailed me out. He still has his knight on a2, right? The backward bishop move I missed. All right, he's taking. This guy is really trying to take my head off here. I like it. All right. Let's bring this back now. Yeah, let's go here. I'm still up a rook. The position's getting murky. This pawn is not on C6 anymore. And I could threaten mate, right? Played knight e2. Oh, I gotta hurry. I gotta start speeding up. Mate threat. Take that. This is where it gets really tough. Let's go here. Can I take this? Oh no, I don't have that there. Where's my bishop? Ay, ay, ay. I think this is defending. Wait, where's his Stark square bishop on e3? I'm forgetting now. Oh, bishop c1. Wow. Yeah, okay. Let's push. Ugh, that was a terrible move. Kick him out. Oh, I think I'm going to get flagged here. I'm just slightly losing my bearings now. Where is this bishop? Take that. Go here next. Ah, I'm going to get flagged. Yeah, not a chance. Ah. Good game, teammate. The time scrambles are so tough. I think I'm up a rook in the end, and I got a pawn here, 2 rooks here, but not enough time to win it. Oh, yeah, and there's a pawn on d4, too. Good game. My one loss of the session. Yeah, luckily, in this position, knight c2 actually wasn't that bad of a move. But looking at it now, f5. f5 or just knight d3. I was getting confused with whether I still had a pawn here and where my dark square bishop was. But yeah, white took my pawn on c6. White took my pawn on c6, and that's why it disappeared. I should have taken here and then rook c2. White played in a good style for a blindfold game because the position was very confusing to keep track of in my head. When it's like in flux and there's lots of stuff hanging, very tough, especially when the time gets low. That was fun, though. Thank you, Aryan. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in today. Thanks to the Lichess mods for moderating this stream. Appreciate you guys both on YouTube and Twitch. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care. We're going to raid someone. Bye, everyone. Thanks again. Oh, and congrats to my opponent, by the way. Teammate 1987. Must be said. My only loss of the stream. We're rating US chess.